Now here, as we take a look at the Thrunite TT20. This is in cool white and desert tan. And Thrunite always doing a fantastic job. One of the companies that I've always just greatly enjoyed. I love the form factor for the most part. The programming is excellent. The construction cannot be beat. They do a wonderful job. Every now and then, a couple little things that you may decide you like to tweak one way or another about a flashlight, but there is no denying Thrunite always doing a fantastic job. And so the TT20 coming with the flashlight itself, lanyard, O-rings, USB Type-C charging cable, a pocket clip, carry sheath, and the user's manual. 5,000 milliamps, 3.6 volts, translating to 18 watt hours of power. You can see on top here, this is rechargeable via USB Type-C. But the flashlight body itself also having that charging port, with everything nicely gasketed, and the threads very smooth, always nicely done by Thrunite. The machining is fantastic, excellent fit and finish. You can see here with the knurling, nice and grippy, comfortable at the same time, so not overly aggressive. Side switch and also the tail switch, so dual switch capable here. On the front, that reflector, very smooth on the inside. This should be a nice thrower. We'll see how much spill there is on this a little bit later when we do some beam testing. But again, you can see that reflector, nice and smooth. This is definitely going to be a little bit more spotlight than flood. And a little bit of a strike bezel there on the front, not overly aggressive, but again, a little bit of a strike bezel. Now, sometimes with these tubes, you have the ability to reverse the head. In this particular case, you'll see this is firm. It's not going to come off. So you mount the clip here for a bezel down carry, which is personally my preferred carry. I do prefer bezel down in general. The wire clip here you can see is deep ride, and it is also reversible. So just snapping this into place. Very effective. Thrunite's clips, always solid. I've never really had a problem. Bent a couple of them, but not a big deal. It's fairly standard and something that you pretty much come to expect. Another thing you'll notice about that tail switch, you do have the standoffs which allow this to stand up. So this will be able to tail stand, which I do like. Sometimes I'll take the light, turn it on, bounce it off the ceiling, and just really nicely illuminate the area. So that is very effective. Now as we click on that tail switch, it is coming on in that moonlight mode, which Thrunite does call the Firefly mode. So here, with the Firefly mode, 0.5 lumens, this will run for around 100 days. 100 days of runtime, that is serious. So now on the side switch, pressing there, the low mode. Low, 39 lumens, 58 hours of runtime. Another press, medium, 210 lumens, 12 hours, 58 minutes of runtime. Another press to high, 780 lumens, 4 hours, 20 minutes of runtime. And another press turbo, 2010 lumens, 235 minutes of runtime. Now this will dim down to 600 lumens after a given amount of time. You do have a battery indicator on the side. So this will be blue when it's between 21 and 100%, red when it's 11 to 20%, and it'll start flashing red when it's 1 to 10%, and then 0%, it's off. But very simple, single press between those modes. Long press here goes to that strobe. So the strobe, 800 lumens. Another single press here, and that comes back into your main primary modes. Again, long press into that strobe. So it's a very easy flashlight. Programming is very simple. Quick double press and tapping through the modes doesn't do anything other than simply go between the modes. So there is no like double press or anything like that on this particular model. Now as you get on the tail switch, you do have the momentary. So you can see here, this is in that Firefly mode, or as I go between the modes, leaving it here in the medium. Now as I get on the flashlight, little half press, that's coming on in the medium. So this does have memory. So depending where you leave it, it will come back on in that prior setting. And keep in mind the fact that pressing the side switch does not operate the light until you've turned on the tail switch. And at that point, the side switch becomes operable, going between the different modes and off. Now clicking on the tail cap, here we have the moonlight mode. You are absolutely not going to see this at any distance. However, in the foreground you can see enough to read. Good amount of light just in front of me where it's not going to kill my night vision, but it gives me what I need to do some basic tasks. Now on the side switch, as I press through the modes, clicking one mode here, this is the low mode. So low mode here, you can see beaming to the left, going across my scene all the way to the right hand side, and you are pretty much seeing that centralized hotspot. Except for me, I do have a good amount of flood, and this gives me the perfect balance between being able to see off into the distance yet still navigating around. This is going to be the perfect amount of light for general navigation and actually most up close EDC tasks off to probably about 50 or 60 feet. Now if I need a little bit more punch at this point, another press of the button here, the medium mode. Medium really starting to beam off. You can definitely at this point see not only that hot spot but the flood off to the sides, doing a good job to illuminate my entire backyard and my entire scene. More than enough punch to start to get up into the trees on the left hand side. Another press here to the high mode. Now we're really starting to light up this entire scene. This is going to be more than enough light for literally about anything I need, fully illuminating everything in this scene well up into the trees, and this is going to be, I'd say, fairly efficient, all things considered, in terms of a good beam output, yet hopefully not completely killing the battery. I can tell you that this flashlight so far is not heating up very much, so that's a good sign. Another press here to the turbo mode, that full output, completely illuminating everything, good blast of light, and then when I cycle again, one more press, this goes back into that moonlight mode. So again, keep in mind the fact that you are going to cycle between all the different outputs just by leveraging the side switch. Long press here, that goes into the strobe. So unlike other lights where you double or triple press, here that long press does give you that strobe. It's not an oscillating pattern, but just a straight strobe pattern. And in order to turn off the light, back on that tail switch, off. And so alright guys, a look at the Thrunite TT20, which I can say, if you're somebody that just likes a simple user interface, you want to just click the light on and then simply get between the modes, this is refreshing from the standpoint that you're not getting into complicated button pushes. You're not long pressing and triple pressing and double pressing and changing a whole bunch about the way this operates. You're turning the light on, you're getting it going, and you're selecting between your modes. And it's going to remember the last mode you were in. It is that simple. So in some ways, if you have a setting that you like, it is set it and forget it. You can just walk around, lean on that tail switch, click it on if you need to, and you're good to go. So I really do like the fact that for me and, this day and age, it just simplifies things that have in many ways become overcomplicated. It's got a great beam output, excellent construction, Thrunite always doing a fantastic job, great battery, perfect clip. It's simple, it's effective, it works. It's the TT20. And so guys, if you like this content, look in the description box below where you can find your own TT20. And if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless family of channels. You're here today on Outer Limitless Lights, where I cover everything from your EDC and tactical lights, headlamps, indoor, outdoor lighting, you name it, Outer Limitless Lights. Now when it comes down to my EDC, hiking, camping, backpacking gear, that's my Outer Limitless primary channel. Outer Limitless 2, which is the tactical and firearm side of things, and Outer Limitless Blades, where I cover all those sharp and pointy things. So check out the Outer Limitless family of channels, and please be sure to subscribe. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.